too long, too long, too long, too long, too long, too long. Which too long, too long, too long, too long. Too long, too long. Alrighty, let's get on talkie. Alright, we're going to talk real estate. We're going to talk some real estate. Alright, so we're good there. We're live there. This will keep our chat going so we know what the deal is. We're also going to record. Alright, so now we've got our recording going on. We're good. Let's see if we get some people to jump in here. I'll listen to some music. It's too long, 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 it's too long. We'll go newly blue today. Hey, what's going on? You're just chilling. Move around. I need to clean this desk up. I honestly need a new desk is what it needs to happen here. But we'll work on getting a new desk. We got to set up a whole new setup. We get a new desk. Alright, you know what? Let's jump over here to Taki. See if we can't make this a little bit better looking. Oh, my bad. We want to go to Canva. We're going to Canva. Let's make that black. Let's make this white. Let's make that all black. Bold it out. What up, everybody? do that. All right. Let's see what this looks like on the streamies. All right. It's good for now. Alrighty. Alrighty. Now we are getting locked in here. So we'll try this today. See if we can stream for a little bit and not get blocked up. And then we'll go from there. All right. Alrighty, perfect. All right, let's go. Hey Nelson, what's up? Where do you get leads from? So we use Newly on the hat. It's where we get our leads from. Appreciate it, Elijah. Elijah, are you doing deals right now? Are you just getting started? Where are you at in your journey? And then, how can I help you, man? That's what I'm here for, to help you guys out. I'm interested, haven't gotten started yet. All right, Elijah. Well, how you gonna make this first 5, 10K? What are we gonna do to jump you into the pool? What do you need? What do you need to get started? Let's say that. Then we can go from there. If you get information, once you have the information, then you can get started, man. Because there's nothing holding you back, but hopefully time or something like that, man. But get you going, man. Get this first lead. Get you some dollars in your pocket. Change your life. set up some meetings that I need to do. All right, let's see. I'm over here jamming, guys. If you guys have questions, please let me know. I'm just, kind of chilling on the live. I'm testing it out because I'm back streaming from StreamYard, and I don't know why I was getting taken off. Maybe it was the music, but if you guys have questions, let me know. I'm here to make sure that I answer anything you guys have. What up, everybody? Just signed up for your playbook. Awesome, man. Let me see. I don't know if it's going out or working like it was. So shoot me a DM and I'll make sure I get it over to you now. I gotta get a link on here to follow. So yeah, follow me. Shoot me a quick DM real quick, and I'll get it over to you right now. Get the free playbook. Then that way you can get started.
Watch me turn into a.
And I'll get you started. As soon as I see you, shoot me over that link. Let me see. All right, I'll get it to where I can get a new link in there. Let me do that real quick. I just thought of how I'm gonna do it. Uh-oh, getting a phone call. Hold on, hold on. All right, can you hear me? Say it again. No, whenever I'm trying to search a customer by the email and the admin, it's not working. So for custom, so for customers, when I go to email and I'm searching, it's not working. There you go. All right, thank you. All right. All right. We'll get you over the playbook, my man. Like I said, follow me, shoot me over a DM, and I'll get it over to you. What's up? What's up? What's going on? Probably butchered that name, but I do apologize. No, all right. Well, good. I'm glad I did not butcher it. What is going on with you today? What can we do to get some money in your pocket? No, I'm just joking. But what's going on with you today? I'll get my microphone up here. Dun, 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 dun. I have a deal and don't know how to close. All right. Well, let's talk about it. Where are we at with it? You got it under contract, or you need to sell it, or what's kind of going on? I just don't know how to structure owner finance. The owner is motivated. I just don't know how to structure owner finance. All right. So let's get into this. We'll get this all worked out. He's motivated. Have you? Let's start with the top of the line thing. Have you already pitched or said or mentioned owner finance to him? And if so, is he looking to do that? Is he open to doing that? Yes and yes. Awesome. Awesome. All right. So let's do this. DM me um the info and I'll take a look at it. We're gonna go over this together. Just DM me like I don't want to put everything on here because I don't want to get banned, but DM me where they're at, like where this deal is at, and then let's go over the numbers together and we'll structure it. I'll show you. I'll break it down for you and show you how to do it, what what to do, why you're doing it, all that good stuff. So let me see. I am on my computer. I'm pretty sure I can get to my DMs from here one way or another. Let me look. I'm trying to sign into a couple of things right now. So just tell me whenever you sent me a DM and I'll go look. Huh, is it working? Let me see if this is working real quick. I'm over here doing all this extra work and this thing is working just fine. Alright, let's see. Huh. I don't know if this is working. Swaggle. You know what? I'll have to work with Dax on this. What's going on, young billionaire? All right. Let me check TikTok because I'm assuming us, Miss, if you're back, you probably hit me with a DM. So let me check it out real quick and see what we got in here. Elijah, yo, what's up? Can I get the playbook and do you have training? You do. All right, Elijah, I just saw your message. I will get you over this playbook. Did you send me a message, Miss? I don't see anything. Let me see if I got some unread or something. I don't really know how you check all this stuff. But okay, let's just get into it. Are you still in here, Miss? I didn't get a message from you, but let me see. What up, everybody? What up, Glory Kid? Let me see if I got a message from you. Oh, okay. I saw you started following me, but I don't see a message. Okay, let's see. Glory Kid, on average, what's the estimated time it takes you to close deals? So, what up, Glory? I think that's a good question, and it depends because every deal is different, right? You're probably usually looking in the 30 to 60 day range period because every deal is different. So I would say you're probably somewhere in that time frame. That's for sure. Oh, you know what? Did this book show up? I'm over here thinking that these books ain't showing up to people, and that book is showing up to people. All right, the book is showing up. All right. Where you get your leads from? Newly. Right here. Boom. Right here. Boom. Newly.com. All right. I am over here. The link in the bio is working. It should get you your ebook. All right, guys. Also, if you want a free ebook to learn how to wholesale and learn how to do this, I do have that in my bio. You can go check it out. 100% free. All right. Miss was going to send me a deal that she had, and we were going to try and do a breakdown, but I don't know what happened to her. So if she comes back, we'll break down her deal. If you guys have a deal you want me to break down, I will take a look at it. It's literally what I'm here for. I'm literally here to just help you guys out. I am not asking you for anything. I'm only giving you information. So that's my claim to fame, and I'm sticking to it. So what up, BJR? So if you guys need anything, I'm definitely here to help you. How do you find your MAO? All right, that's a good question. So what I do is a few things here. I'm not getting that granular, right? Because we've got to talk to the seller and see if they want to sell. We have to do a lot of things before we get what that is, right? And so we can't get that number before we call them because we're just not sure. But to have a decent idea, what I do is I take the price of the home, I times it by 0.75, and then based off of whatever we're talking about on the phone or whatever, I just minus a rough estimate, right? So I'm just gonna pull out my calculator. So say the house is worth 200. If we times it by 0.75, that's 150, and then we minus like say 30 grand because they're telling you it needs repairs. We know we need to be in the 120-ish range to really be able to do something. Now, if the house is really dilapidated, obviously we have to do more. If it's ready to go, we don't need to subtract the 30K. We can subtract maybe 10 or 15. But that ballpark number gives you the range that you need to be in. So that's a good way to establish, hey, am I on there? Am I in it right? Because if it's 200 and they say they want to get 190, then it really doesn't matter what the MAO is. You've got a long ways to go to get them into a contract if that's the route you're going in the first place. So that's how I like to go about it. So hopefully that's something that makes sense to you. Now, if you're doing something that's like an owner finance or subject to where numbers are kind of hard, like I owe this amount to the bank and I can't leave without that, then numbers are a little bit more firm and you've got to follow maybe what the numbers they give you are. But yeah, for a wholesale deal, that's kind of where I'm at with it, guys. That help you out, Gliz? Hopefully that helps you out. Who else has got a question? Yeah, you don't want to get too caught up in the hay, especially if you're trying to figure out the MAO before you call them. Guys, if you're trying to figure out a lot of this information before you call people, um, you are utilizing a lot of time. You got to talk to more people than you've got to run numbers. So you want to make sure that you're talking to people, the right people, and then we're running those numbers so that it makes sense, while we're talking to them, guys. And one thing that I suggest, and I come from the world of HR and recruiting, so we always had to do this, but I suggest being able to multitask while you were on the phone. That way you could do more than one thing. All right. So when you're talking to them, you're asking them how their day was, how's it going, how their family, why they're looking to move. You want to be taking notes, doing all those things. That way, when you get to the end of the call, if you have to put them on a brief hold, you can. If you don't, you don't want to play that game or do that. You don't need the time. You don't have to because you already know. Generally, this is the direction. This is the kind of area that I need to be in as far as a sales number would go. So hopefully that is something that makes sense to you guys as well. All right, who else has got some questions for me? If you're in here and you want to get started, people are asking me like, do I do trainings, or if I do coaching, if I do things like that. This is the coaching. I'm not trying to take your money and do coaching sessions. I just want to help you guys out right here. How do you find the value of the home to then times it by 75? Okay, so another good question. I just go to while you're talking to them or whatever, however you come across it, pop it in Zillow, pop it in Redfin. Those are kind of give you ballparks, and then that'll give you where you need to start at, right? So if you pop it into Redfin and it tells you 250, and you pop it into Zillow and it tells you 230 or 245, you kind of have a ballpark number of probably what it's worth without really getting into it yet. And again, this is all like pre-giving them a call numbers, because you don't want to get caught up in what all the numbers are going to be, what all this, and then you call them and they don't even pick up the phone. So that's how I go about getting those numbers. How could I start wholesaling at 16? Pick up the phone and start calling people, man. I mean, dude, if I could have started at 16, I'd be wow. Pick up the phone, BJR, and start calling people, and then when you get ready to close, have your mom or dad or somebody um, get everything submitted to the title company, and or a partner that you're working with, get it submitted to the title company, and get ready to close, right? So start calling people, start finding deals, and then work with some partners to get them closed. This is a team sport, right? You can do all of this by yourself, but you don't want to, right? Michael Jordan is the best guy on the court, but he can't do it all by himself. He's still got to have a team around him. So if you're that young, start networking with people, and work with some people in some communities, get some things under contract, and partner with some people, and get some deals sold. And by the time you hit 18, you'll be flying. Who else we got up in here? Let's see. Do you recommend looking into Facebook groups? Yeah, man, dude, I've made a ton of money off Facebook groups. Facebook groups have a lot of good people in there. I don't know if they're popping as much as they were back a few years ago, but there's still good people on there. There's still people looking to do deals. So Facebook groups, school communities, Instagram, people who are doing things. Those are always great to work with as well. Money Mike, are you doing straight assignments or novations as well? So we're doing everything, Mike. The 270 that we just assigned, that actually is all straight assignments, no novations in there. So, but we do it all subject to creative and all those things. We work with people to make sure it all gets done. All right, guys. Let's see. Question: possible to make say 75K by the end of this year? Yeah, you got plenty of time. You gotta have to hustle and grind. You know what I'm saying? It's possible though. We did almost 300K in 3 months. So think about that. So yeah, it's definitely possible. We just had an $80,000 deal. Matter of fact, 40 grip. We just had an $80,000 assignment fee get paid out last Friday. So there you go. Now, did it close in 20 days? No, there's a lot to it because it was a $2 million deal. But um, definitely, it's possible to do. How did you start off your journey in real estate? I know best list, virtual, in Connecticut. So guys, I know I'll answer both of these questions. I don't get caught up too much in list and all those things, and I do virtual is the way I got started. So, but just pull and call, pull and call, pull and call. You can't. There's no list where they're going to be like, oh my God, the home is vacant and in foreclosure, just like your list said. I do want to sell to you, right? You got to call everybody. Everybody's situation and timing is going to be different. How did I get started? I got started. I was buying a house. It was horrible, and I said, "Let me look into wholesaling." And then my realtor told me about how I could make like 3 grand off of a deal if I did all this work and found a home to sell. Blah blah blah. And it took me 3 months. We're looking for deals. I found a deal. It took me probably 60 days to get it closed. I did 75 off of that one deal. There's your favorite number right there, 40 grip. I did 75 off of that deal, and I never looked back. I just kept on working to do deals and build and build and build. All Sorry, I'm over here working, guys. All right, sorry. Let's see. 40. I watched Zach Gann and Rich Taylor. Hey, those are all great guys. They're all doing their thing, and they know the business too, right? And so I think they give out a lot of good information. And the thing is this: Rich is, I think, doing a lot of Section 8 and things like that. And if you focus on that, it'll work, right? Zach is definitely about assignments and pulling the certain list. And if you do those things, they will work. Anything in this business will work if you do enough of it, right? I just don't get granular, and I'm looking into getting leads in front of you so that you can talk to sellers and do assignments. So I'm kind of like a wide, but it's focused. We're just doing, wholesaling, and that involves subject to and all this. But if you want to buy the property and do the Section 8, then boom, you're in Rich's world. If you want to only focus on water shutoff list and pulling those, then you're in Zach's world. But it all lands at the end of the day in getting a deal done. Just about how you want to structure it, how you want to do it. What up, Nick74? So, and again, guys, you can get as granular with this business as you want. I started off nationwide wholesaling. And I think that's one of the best, I think, because the world is your playground. I mean, you can reach out to so many people. Now you can do a lot of stuff in your backyard only. That's great. You can go there. You'll probably have a higher close rate if you see people in person, but it's going to take a lot longer maybe to find those deals and do things like that. So I just kind of started off learning nationwide and stuck with it. First deal is 3 months. That's the 75K one I told you about. That took 3 months to get, my first one. Do you underwrite before? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see that, you boy. Do you underwrite before making an offer every time? No. I don't get that crazy with it, because if I'm on the phone with you and you're telling me the property, if I can look and know the property's worth 300. And when I'm on the phone with you, you're telling me you want 200, I don't need to underwrite it unless there's demolishments going on or something like that, right? If you're telling me that you're only going to take 290 and it's worth 300, not a lot of underwriting. Now, when it gets in the in-between area, then while I'm talking to you, I'll run some numbers, and then maybe I need to do some quick underwriting, right? And that depends if we're going to be innovation, creative finance, subject to, kind of, it depends on where the game is going with the deal. And then we'll do some underwriting and get some general numbers and try and write it on the phone or get back with them. But I don't do like a bunch of pre-call number running. To me, that's just a waste of time, personally. So I'm not really doing deals like that on the daily. I partner with communities, I partner with groups, I run Newly, and so we get leads for individuals. So I don't have like an average deal size anymore that I'm doing, because I'm not doing deals on a daily. But through this challenge that we just did with the group I partnered with, and we closed out the 300K, we had a huge deal, one that was 50 and then another one that was 80. Those were really big pops, and those don't happen all the time, but they will happen if you stay running this business long enough. But our average assignment was I would say 20,000. So we were hitting a bunch of 20 runs on that, which is always good. They always preach 0.75 times cost of property, 0.70. Yeah, I would say I say 0.75 just because it puts me in the ballpark. 0.70 is good, but sometimes that could take too much off of the top, right? So for instance, if we run a number on a property that's 200 and we do it by 0.75, that gives us 150, and then say we're just going to, use a mindset of let's deduct 20 or 30. So we'll just say 20. Then we know we need to be in we know if we're talking to a customer, we should be in the range of that 130, because that's the number that those things gave us, right? So now we have a general number. If we do 200 and then we just times it by 0.7, we're at 140, and then say we minus that same 20, that's telling us we need to be at 120. That could be the difference between a customer hanging up in your face or maybe you get a great deal, right? But that other number is still doable. It just puts us in a range where we know this is what we need to be listening for. So we know if they're offering us anything above, 130, we've got some work to do. We don't want to get in the mindset if they get us anywhere between, 110 or 115, like I know a lot of people are going to preach to you or you're, if you're just getting in this game, you want to make 20 and $30,000 rips. Those are great. But the reality of this business is you hit 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 20, 10,000, 10,000, 10,000, 50. That's the reality of it. Then you get good and those numbers start to spread out because you understand what you're looking for and how to do it, who your buyers are, and some of those things. That's why the plus renovation. So that's why I just take off 20 or 30 while I'm talking to them. Because if they're telling me, oh, the kitchen needs to be redone and the bathrooms and this, all right, well, I know we're probably in this amount of range. Or if they're like, hey, it just needs some paint and this and this and that. All right, I know I need to be in this range. So when you're talking to them, you can put in zero point 0.7 minus a quick number, right? If they say all 4 bedrooms in the whole house or whatever, okay, maybe that's 50. As just a general range, right? Because you got to think, you're giving this information to somebody who's a flipper. They're whatever your buyer says, unless you're good friends, right? I've got some good friends who are buyers, but whatever your buyer says, they usually buy this stuff all the time. They know what it costs, right? There's no like, if I spend 50,000 on reno and the home costs 50,000 for the reno, you told me I'm not going to buy it if it's over $5,000. They know the general numbers. They want to make as much as they can. But if renovation is going to cost them 60 and you told them 50 and they are already at 0.75, they're still going to make money on the property. Now, there's some guys who probably won't touch it unless they're going to make 30 or 50. There's always somebody out there who will take the $25,000 profit they're going to make. So you got to find the right buyers. My first 2 deals didn't go through. I want to make sure when I look at my next house, I don't underwrite. I don't underwrite. I don't know what that means. But why didn't the first ones go through? The first ones probably didn't go through because you locked them up too high. I mean, usually that's why a deal doesn't go through. So why didn't your first ones go through? Let's talk about it. I'm over here working too, guys. I gotta keep business running, guys. If you need leads, let me know. That's what we do. We're $99 a month. You get 25 leads. You talk to motivated sellers. You get to closing. All right, that's my plug. All right, so why didn't your deal close, brother? Let's talk about it. And then, yeah, I'm gonna stay on here for a little minute, and then I will hop off a little bit later. What would happen if you don't close the deal before the deadline on the contract? You ask for an extension, or you tell them, hey, unfortunately, I can't perform on this. It's not going to work out for me. You communicate is what you do. Overpriced on the first one. The second one was in a small market, and the buyer didn't end up going to see the house for the second one. Okay, yeah, small markets will do that to you sometimes. So again, you know what? In a small market, let's say that you had it priced out right. Small markets are going to be sometimes great for novations. I don't know if you know how to do a novation. Then that's what those are great for. So it's 25 leads. So I consider 40 grip data and leads different things, right? PropStream gives you data. Then you have to skip trace it. So you pay for a PropStream and then you pay to skip trace. We give you leads that are people who are motivated sellers with all their information. So we give you 25 leads, meaning we've already called them. We've already got their motivation. We've already done that part. So all you have to do is call them and work on the deal. And that's how we were able to do so many deals in the 3 months to hit 300,000, because we're using data that's already been through the ringer. And now we're just talking to people who are motivated, and we get to a deal a lot quicker. What's the best price range I should look for so I don't have to underwrite? You're always going to have to underwrite. It's just about when and how long you want to spend on it, right? There's a dude, Demetrius, DeMarcus. I can't find it. I got to think of his name. I think his video might be on my page. Young kid, first deal, he got a home under contract. It's definitely on our YouTube. You can watch the full video. First deal, got it under contract for like 1.6 million and had to get the guy all the way down to like 1.4, but closed on it and made 50 grand, and he split that with him and his partner. So his first deal was 50K on a 1 point something million dollar home. So there's not like a special price range where if you stay within this number, you're gonna be ultra successful. You just have to work every single deal, brother. It's all your profit, 40 grip. If you do a deal, it's all yours. We run a company, right? So it's just we're not in that business, or unless we're sponsoring your business or something like that. If you buy a lead and you do a deal, I think Brandon, who's on TikTok, he goes live. He's on TikTok. He just closed a $14,000 deal out the other day from a lead we gave him. That's his money. So that's what we do, man. We are about running our business and putting you in front of people so you have the best opportunity to get something closed. I'm glad you like it, man. So yeah, that's what we do. Oh man, we just got some leads in from our online. West Virginia and Mississippi. I gotta tell you, man, I don't know who's doing things out in West Virginia. Let's look and see what this address is on this property. See if it's in a decent area. Might have to give this lead away to one of y'all guys. Let's see. I guess it's a decent size area. Oh, you know what I haven't checked in a while? This is let me see what the city is in Mississippi real quick. Let's see if it's anything popping. Oh wow, this is out in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, nothing too much happening over here in this part of Mississippi. Well, you know what? Could be a good lead. Could be a good lead for y'all to take and practice on. So maybe any free leads. You know what? I'm at the point where we've been giving away free leads to people, and sometimes if I'm being honest on the live, there's not a lot of people in here. Sometimes you give people stuff for free, and it almost feels like a spit in the face for me giving them free stuff. So I'm kind of reframing on free right now because it's almost like, man, I give you a lead and you go make 20, 30, 40, $80,000 and I'm the bad guy, or you don't know if you trust me. It's like, I don't know if I want to keep doing that with people. So we'll look into some things. It's just the name of the game, brother. You know what I mean? The thing is, people value everything differently. So, but we never talk bad about anybody. It's nothing bad. It's all good stuff. Everybody's making money. So that's all. That's the main thing. My BF has his own life insurance agency. Is that what you do? Nope. We are wholesaling real estate over here. But I hear insurance is a good business. So more power to them. But no, we're in the real estate space. But if I'm calling, what's my target to call? What do you mean? What's my target to call? Yeah, he likes it. I like real estate though. For me personally, yeah, that's what I'm in. I like the real estate. I don't really understand the insurance game. No one's ever broke it down, explained to me, and I put my head down and I learned real estate, and I just kind of never looked up. Right, I like to focus on one thing, get really good at it, then build out verticals inside of there. So I haven't got into anything else, and I don't plan on it. I've laid my head down in real estate, and that's where we shall be. That's where we'll be staying, and I'm happy with that. I call for 2-3 hours a day. There you go. So there you go. There, call for 2 or 3 hours a day. Put in that work, and if you can make that happen, and that can be enough for you, then there you go. Definitely better than someone who's calling no hours a day. Q. HL, he just had a mentor help him with it. He has warm leads though, not cold calling. There you go. See guys, warm leads is the way to go. That's what newly we're giving you the warm leads. So all you have to do is get on the phone with people and start talking to them right away and get something done. I mean, vacant, distress, etc. code violations. Yeah, again, I think, with newly, we're pulling so much information. We're just talking to people who are interested. Again, I'm not a super granular guy, right? Because no one's gonna not. I love a vacant list, so that's what I love, right? But it doesn't mean every time I call someone and the home is vacant, they want to sell it or whatever. So I would say just pick a list of open things. Everybody's situation is going to be different, right? You may call a vacant person and the home's vacant, but they are keeping it in the family. You may call a code violation list and they are behind on the bill and they've paid it and they don't want it. So there's no list where it's going to be like every time you call them, you hit a home run. So pull a couple of things, and it takes a lot, right? People to talk to. So pull a couple of things and just work them, work them, work them. Q. That's far from enough. Laugh out loud. I have a 9 to 5 stopping me from putting in long times. Hey, you know what? I hear you, Q. We had a dude newly last year, and it's on our YouTube, who had a 9 to 5, and he picked up a rental property for zero profit off of one of our leads, and he was loving it because that was his first rental property. So if you're able to put in 2 to 3 hours and talk to good leads, that's not all you need, but if you have a 9 to 5, like, that'll get you going for sure. I promise you. I'm watching my mom and my kid outside playing in the cul-de-sac. I gotta tell you, this is the best part of life. I always tell people I'm in the part of the movie where they look back and they wish they were in it, and that's where I'm at. I sit at home, I work, I help people make money, I hang out with my kids, and I see them every day. It's the best part of the movie. All right, let's see. Warm leads, only way. Yep, you're right. Just right off the script. There you go. You know it. Q, yeah. Y sells and stuff. Good flexible schedule. There you go. It is a flexible schedule. Let's say gun to your head. You had to make, you say 100K by the end of this year. What what's your go-to list? 40 grip. You know what? I'll just answer your question. Gun to my head. It would be a vacant home where the sellers live in another state. So vacant home out of the area code. So someone who lives in Seattle and they have a vacant home in Texas, that would be it. That'd be it. Let's see. So 40. I hope that helps you out. That's my ideal list. Everybody who goes to that situation, I do think those people always need help if they're looking to sell. Q, great business to get into. Let's see. Thank you guys. Starting to go a little bit quicker. All right. So thank you, Nick. Need the reminder. PPC or PPL. So we sell. We have a subscription where you get 25 leads for $99 for your first month, and those lists are all going to be coming in from PPC and lists that we're pulling and dialing ourselves, and we talk to homeowners that were interested. So you're kind of getting the best of both worlds mixed in there at a price point that you can't beat anywhere else, and that's why we have success week after week after week, and people tell us they closed and made X amount of dollars. Might hit you up after I graduate, really looking into getting into sales or real estate. All right, let's do it. Learn the business, I guess, for now, and then get going. There's a ton of things to do. Do you mentor? I don't mentor. This is the mentorship right here. This is what I tell people. I don't want to take your money to mentor you. That's not the business I'm in. I'm giving you the time and energy and answers right now. So this is the mentorship. You ask me something. I'm planning to start doing weekly stuff and keeping it consistent. So if you guys have questions, you'll know where to find me, because I don't want to do a mentor. I want to take your money. I'll take your money for leads because it's a hard cost that costs X amount of dollars for us. So it costs X amount of dollars for you. That's a way a business works. But for my time, I'm not going to charge you guys. Yeah, I know that's really good. And imagine when people come and tell me they close 15, 20, 30, 50,000. We had a deal closed for $80,000 on Friday with one of our people, from them paying $200 a month because it's $99 for your first month, then it goes to $200. But imagine $200, your ROI, your return is, you can't find it anywhere else. The only thing you have to put in is the sweat equity, which you were going to have to do no matter what. What tools do you use? CRM, PropStream, etc. So I'm not doing deals daily, but everybody I partner with, everyone's in a go high level right now, and PropStream, of course, is attached with it. So Foodie Euphora, thanks for being in here and chatting with us. Yeah, I would say some version of a go high level, and PropStream is what I see a lot of people using. Can we pick the area? So we upload daily, nationwide, anywhere between 20 to 50 leads, and it's nationwide. You don't pick the area. So I can't make it that price and you pick the area. So I can't give you everything. Okay, I'm glad that you would pay for it. We add value. I've got a go high level version that I use for things, and so I think go high level is kind of where everybody and their mother is at right now. So for someone with zero experience, what's the first step? Watch a week's worth of videos on YouTube, right? I'm a fall forward person. I'm a fell forward. So just get started. But I would say a week's worth of videos on YouTube for a couple days just to understand what the business is, how, like the general process on how to get into it, how to get started. Then after that week is up, you've got to start calling people. That's it. You've got to start getting on the phone and start talking to people. You can cancel at any time. Yeah, you can cancel at any time. And here's the crazy thing. If you get a lead that says, F you, I don't want to sell, I just give you the credit back in your account so you can get another lead for it. So really, there's no losing. PropWire is good too. That'll definitely get you started if you're trying to save your ducats. Definitely appreciate you, Foodie. You're always appreciated in here. Do you have Instagram? Yes, I do. It's going to be newly in... it's going to be this with an underscore at the end. So it's just newly underscore, and you'll see me there. We had to get a new account because the last one got hacked. So we're starting fresh. I think we have just a couple hundred people. We'll build it back up. And what's the job title? What's my job title? And do you need a license? No, you don't need a license to wholesale. And I don't have a job title, I don't think. My last job title at corporate America was was a TAP. I was a talent acquisition partner. That was in corporate America when I last worked. But that's been many, many years ago. Very informative. I try to, brother. Like if I watch YouTube, do I need to sign up with you? Then sign up. Yeah, I would watch a week of YouTube, watch Jerry Norton videos are great. So Jerry's great. Pace Morby's great if you want to understand creative things. Kong is great. He shows a lot of things on the phone so you can understand how the phone calls go. And then once you watch Kong, Jerry Norton, he does a lot of good things on the phone. And I would say those two for sure because they show a lot of great phone work. Then you have to get on the phone, right? Because then it's ready. Yeah, Newly's my company, and it's just leads. We're just leads. We're not a CRM. We're not a whatever. But yeah, we're just doing leads. I'm a limo driver, and I'm just tired of it. Gotcha. You're just tired of it. Well, this will be something that's good for you in between. Work. Get on there, call a couple people, see if you can make a deal happen. And none of this stuff is get rich quick, guys. So I don't want you to think I'm driving limos Monday, I'm going to make a call Tuesday and lock up a deal Friday and it's going to close in 30 days and I've got a new career. It's not the way it works. Let's see. Okay, so do I get in contact with you and then just do everything myself? Like, how does my money get here? Okay, so like legit, just call people. Where do you get your leads? All right, we get our leads from Newly, Luxon Invest. So HLB, I'm gonna break it down for you, and then I'll come back to you, Carlos. So Newly is just a lead company. The way the wholesale business works is you have to understand how to wholesale a property. You got to do acquisitions, and then you have to do dispositions, and you have to work with title companies, which usually a transaction coordinator if your team is big enough. So what I charge for is just the leads. You need a phone. So if you're paying Verizon, that's where some of your money goes, or whoever. And you need Zillow, so you can kind of get an idea of how to comp properties if you're doing it for free, or PropWire, which is free. So in an ideal world, you would watch YouTube for a week. Then you would get on your phone. You would come and sign up for Newly for $99, and you would get leads. You need a team. You need a team after you do a deal, right? It's like if you run a car dealership. If you sell one car, you don't need a team. You're right. You don't need everything a car dealership has. But if you start selling maybe 4 or 5 cars a week, then yeah, you need a team. That's exactly how it is with wholesaling. If you sell a house or 2 a month, you're fine. If you want to scale up and do multiple houses, then yeah, you need a team. Let's see. Carlos, to avoid high tax after you profit. I don't know. You got to call Trump and see what he'll do for you. Well, if you're running a business, I'm not a tax person, guys. So if you're running one and you don't have rentals, then you're going to need a good person to run your taxes and do your taxes. I have a guy that does them here for me, but you're going to need a good person that does your taxes to help you do some write-offs and things like that. And you may have to buy some things to keep your money, right? That's why you see people buy trucks and big vehicles, because they got to write off stuff, or they buy crap because they got to write off stuff. Otherwise, they're going to have to give their money to the government. So I'm not a tax person. Don't ask me too much on that one. Okay, I may DM you actually get more info. Please do. I'm always available for DMs. You can always ask me anything. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget anything. Lucky, I think I answered your question newly. Boom. How long have you been in the business? My last job was at Google, and I left Google in probably 2019, 2020, somewhere in there. Think about this. I just updated my LinkedIn like a few months ago, because I was like, you know what? I guess I've been doing this long enough to where I'm probably going to be doing it for a while. And because I always told myself and everybody, like my wife, like, if I've got to go back to corporate America, this isn't working out. I'm doing it. I'm not too prideful or anything to go back to corporate America. It is not as if I've had horrible jobs. Like, my last job I was at was Google. Then before then, I was a district talent person for Lowe's, where I had 16 stores that I hired and helped do acquisitions for. So I was like, if I have to get back into corporate America, I will. But then it's kind of been 5-6 years now. So I was like, I think I'll be sustaining, hopefully. So I just updated my LinkedIn. But yeah, been doing this for a while, guys. And I wouldn't tell you to do anything that I wouldn't do. And I'm not telling you to run out and leave your job or anything like that. I'm just someone with zero knowledge in this industry, and I want to get into it. I'm going to give you the blueprint. If you stick with me, the best is yet to be. I'll tell you what you want to know. HLB. It all rhymed. There you go. We're going to get you the knowledge first. I do have a free playbook in my link in my bio. So get the free playbook. Go through there. Read through that. Uh-oh, my boy Travis. Read through the free playbook. Look through there. Watch some YouTube videos. And then you have to start calling people once you kind of understand how to structure a deal, right? And so once you start to learn how to structure a deal and put it together, you start talking to people, and then it starts to flow. It doesn't happen overnight, but you got to learn it, right? Let's see. Luck says, I have a lady in pre-foreclosure. She wants to file bankruptcy. How should I go about it? Well, we need to find out, Luck, how far she is in pre-foreclosure, right? Is the sale this month? Is the sale next week? Is the sale 2 months from now? If you've got some time on the sale, right? Maybe let's say like a month or two. We want to understand, we just need to figure out what she owes the bank and how much she wants for the property and all that stuff. And then we can find somebody to close on the property and buy it and get her out from all of this, as long as her pricing and everything makes sense. If the sale is like in a week, we need to call the bank with her and try to understand what can we pay to stop this deal today, right? And so say the bank says, hey, it's going to be 10 grand. Then we need to say, hey, would you accept an offer for your home for X amount of dollars if we can get someone to commit to buy this and this, and there's some paperwork and structuring that goes through, but we got to get on the phone with the bank because they control the process, right? The bank says you owe 50, we're only taking 50. Well, we may have to still work out a deal with them and get a number that everybody's happy with, and it may still go into foreclosure. But I don't know about what state you're in, but there's some states like Texas where the homeowner has like a year to get it back, even after it's been like gone through the foreclosure process. They can still file something and go backwards and get the property. They have to still pay and do that. So try and get everything done before that happens. I've actually never been through that process, but try and get the numbers and get it closed before she goes into there, so that way she doesn't have to do that process. But if she just wants to file for bankruptcy, this will be helpful to have her have the house done already, honestly. As I follow Black Man, I believe you're in your vision. Black Man, probably. I'm doing this part time right now, so I can launch. Hey, brother, do it. Look, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. It don't matter what color you is. If you put the time and effort in, you will have the results that you're looking for. And that is something I promise you, right? I didn't do my first deal overnight. It took 3 months, but I put the time and effort in and day out, and that led to a closing. And then guess what, guys? After you close a deal, whether it's $1 or 100,000, this is a sales job. You got to go back and do it again next week, or you will just be a one-trick pony. I have not done pre-foreclosure before. All right, step number 1, make sure that she's not asking where we can't get her saved ASAP. So we got to get, in wholesale, the 4 pillars are time, price, condition, motivation, right? When we jump into pre-foreclosure, the thing that we really got to focus on is price and time. Because even if they have the right time, even if they have the right price, the time might be an issue. So we still may have to get on the phone with the bank, right? Say the property's worth 200, she's going to let you buy it for 100. You've got a buyer who says, I'll buy it for 120 today. But the close is happening then. Well, we need to get all the paperwork signed, everything done, and then we need to get that over to the bank so that they can see, hey, we plan on buying this house. We're closing. You're going to get paid. Everybody's going to get paid. We need 7 days. Can we push this out 7 days? Here's the contracts we have signed. They're at the title company doing the work. Can we do it? So you've got to, make everybody move with a little bit of sense of urgency and get all the paperwork into the proper people. And we really got to be talking to the bank, right? It's their home. They own it. They're calling the shots. So we got to have our seller in line with the conversations that we're having with the bank. And they have to be there unless they make you an authorized user. My performance shop. Okay, hey, if you got a performance shop, work that performance shop, and then when you got some off time, call some people. HL. And then I get into a team because I'm selling as me. Why would they listen to me? Like I'd have to be part of something bigger in order to actually even sell them anything. Also off topic, but where you Patriot from in the portrait from in the background. Okay, let's break all this down. HL, you're going question for question. You're thinking about hiring people probably in the States, right? And you're thinking you've got to sell them on this big thing and this, that, right? The great thing about being, let's just say in the States, is that you can go and hire a VA, which is a virtual assistant that will work for maybe, and I'm just throwing out random numbers, right? But let's say they work for $5 an hour and they'll work 9 to 5 for you for $5 an hour. Okay, well now maybe if you've closed a deal or two, that's a little bit more affordable. And your VA can do transaction work. They can do cold calling. They can do documents, sending out offers. They can set up locksmith to go to homes and get doors open. They can set up appointments for buyers to go and visit homes. They can do a lot, right? They can do whatever you train them to do. So again, let's bring our thought process maybe from like where you're, and we all do it, right? But the position that you're in is not the position everyone else is in. So yeah, you can hire a VA. They can do a lot of work for you, and that's an employee, and they may cost $5 an hour, and you work them 5 days a week for $5 an hour. Now they're doing a whole heck of a ton of work for you. So there you go. That's how you solve that. My wife got me this. She did something on some website or app, and then she sent it to Canva, and they printed off and made it. So my wife did that. That's to answer that question for you. Hopefully we got that one knocked out. I'm in Boston, dude. I love Boston. I used to work for Wayfair, and so their headquarters is in Boston. So that was the first time I went, and I just thought the city was awesome. And then me and my wife went back, and we went to a Sox game, and oh man, I just think Boston's a great city, and they're great for multifamilies. A lot of good real estate things happening in Boston as well, Luck. So you're in a good market. You're in a really good market there. A lot of great multifamily opportunities there and buyers. That's good info. All right. I'm sorry. I'll stop. You don't have to stop. Stop. Ask all these questions, right? I didn't know what the heck a VA was. I didn't know what. Yep, Fenway, baby. I'm telling you, man, that was a great experience. Um, I didn't know what a VA was. I didn't know how to utilize one. I didn't know all those things, right? But I think people see wholesaling and they visualize it as like a hustle that they're going to do. I'm going to do this outside of work. I'm going to do this in between this and do that. And that's great. That's how a hustle works, right? But if you want this to turn into something, it has to be a business. And when you get hired at a company, they onboard you. They tell you here's where the systems are. These are the trainings on the systems. This is what your schedule is going to be. This is where our expectations are. You have to turn this hustle into a company, into a corporation, and that's how you get it off the ground. Oh man, my guy said I got insane results for, yeah, we gave this dude 180 I don't even want to say, because we gave him 180 leads for a very good price in our business, what we consider a good price. He's still working deals to this day. I just ordered the kit. Boom, it'll be in your inbox soon. It's free. I mean, I'm coming on here giving away free after free after free. Matter of fact, here's what we're going to do. HL, you want to get started. 40 Grip wants to get started. Matter of fact, if you're in here and you want to get started today and you haven't got started, please just like put a hand raise or some kind of emoji in the box, in the chat, and I'll take care of you guys. I'll DM you, as I still have no idea where to even start and stuff. I'll ask more there. I need a company to onboard me. I'm a student athlete right now, so I know what's it like to grind and grind. Hand raise. There you go. If you are in here today, I'm going to give you your first 5 leads free for new lead, right? I don't want a dime for you. So that way, after you finish watching your videos, you can go in there, you can find some sellers, you can call them, and you can have some conversations. The big scary part of this business is talking to people. So once you get that out of the way and you're comfortable doing that, you're done. You're done. That's the hard part. That's like the trick of the business. That's what keeps everybody away from it. They don't want to talk to people. So follow me on here, send me a DM, and I am going to send you a link for 5 free leads on our website, so that whenever you are ready, you don't have to do it anytime, and it's for free, just like the kit is. Follow me and shoot me a DM, and I may make you follow me on Instagram too. I'm going to put my Instagram on here. There it is. So that's my Instagram. Follow me on there. And I'll give you, there you go. All right. I see a hand raise. Who wants the free gifts? I'm going to follow you, bro. Great stuff. Thanks. Not a problem. Thank you, brother. All right. If you want the free gift, please follow me. Hypothetically, so I would just call the 5 leads and not be affiliated with anyone, just sell them. Yeah, you know what? It's like here's what you're doing, right? And HLB, I'm not trying to talk to you like anything. I really just want you to understand. Say you go on Facebook Marketplace and you find someone selling a couch, because people do couch hacking, what they call couch hacking. And you're thinking about you have to have all this money. You don't have to. We're assigning a deal. We're the middleman, right? There's 2 pieces of bread. We're the cheese in between. So imagine you go on a Facebook Marketplace and you find someone selling a couch for $5, and you can sell it to somebody for $105, right? So you stand to make a hundred bucks. So if you called the person selling the couch and you said, "Hey, I want to buy this couch from you for $5," and they're like, "All right, great," and then you facilitate that, you get the couch, you get it delivered, and then you call the person who wants to sell it for 100 or buy it, who's looking for a couch for 105, and you say, "Hey, I've got this couch for 105." They come and look at it, they say, "No, I don't want to give you 105, I'll give you 80," and you say, "Sold." You In our business, you say, "Hey, first person, I'm going to write a contract for you for the $5 you're asking, and I'm going to give it to the title company." And then the other person says, "All right, I'm going to write a contract with you for the $85 you're looking for, and we'll give that to the title company." The title company will make sure that the couch is legit, all of that, and then they will pay you out and they'll pay everybody out. So that's what we're doing. Maybe that's what I'm not explaining right. So if you call someone and they want to sell their $300,000 home for $210,000, then you got to find somebody who wants to buy it for $250. You have them both sign agreements on both ends, and then you give all that to a title company. They protect all the parties. They do all the paperwork, and then when it's ready to close, they close. Now, there's a lot of stuff that happens in between. You got to go look at the house and make sure that's not messed up. You got to get the buyer in the house. There's a lot of other things, but the big picture. Yeah, so since we are in the middleman, we need to talk with a realtor or anything? No, so we're calling off-market properties. So these are people who want to sell their home, but they're not selling it on the market for whatever reason. Or maybe they do, right? And there's like a lot of people in this business who just work with realtors. So maybe you get a property that someone wants to sell for 300,000 and it's worth the 300,000. Maybe you just connect that person with a real estate agent. And then the real estate agent gets a listing, they sell it, they pay you a commission. You connected two people and you made money, right? There's a ton of ways to skin cat in this industry. That is one of them. So you don't have to think that you got to do everything like a realtor or anything like that. So you definitely need a title company to stay in touch with everybody. And again, think about it like this: you have a VA that you're paying the $5 an hour to. That's their job. So you can connect them with the realtor. Yeah, that's definitely one of the things you can do, right? You can connect them with the realtor, or you can find a buyer. So there's people who flip houses or buy rentals, and they don't want to deal with the realtor because they don't want to pay the extra costs, or maybe just the home isn't on the market. So you find a buyer, right? So somebody says, "I want to sell it for 100." You find a person who's willing to buy it for 150 or 120. You connect those two people via contract and give it to the title company, and you're waiting for a closing in the big picture. So I know I can, user says this, no, so I know I can talk to anyone and I imagine I could negotiate, but where do I find buyers? PropWire, PropStream, looking at who's been buying properties in the area, Facebook groups, school groups, Discord groups. Get the deal under contract and you can find a buyer. Trust me, if you get a good deal under contract, you will find a buyer. But though, to get you started, Discord, Facebook, school, PropWire, PropStream, reverse searching reverse buyers. That's the gems that I just gave you there. Again, free game. Okay, so let's see. So, okay, how do we find a buyer? Like, I call someone and ask them if they want to, if they would, what would I even say? Because I'm a random somebody. So let me tell you, and are you just cold calling buyers? All right, great. We've got HL and user in here. And so I want to tell them a story about a deal that I did. I can't tell you when this one was. It was, last year and a half, 2 years ago. I found this property in Minnesota somewhere. No, was it Wisconsin? Small town in Wisconsin. Is that what's right above? Let's not get into the details. Found a house one time in a small area, Wisconsin and Minnesota, somewhere in there. And I got the house under contract for, let's just say it was 180. And so I was like, dude, this is a smaller, part of the state. No one's over here. So I went on PropStream, PopWire, and I looked who was buying at home, who was buying homes in that area. And I found a guy that had bought a flip like recently in that area. I just called him out of the blue, and he picked up and, hey, this is Dave. Actually, his name was Dave. He picked up and was like, yeah, this is Dave. I said, Dave, I know this call is really random. I said, I'm an investor, and I have a property on your street that I was thinking about flipping, but I just don't think it works for me. I just want to see if you're looking at buying properties in the area. That's what I opened up with. And Dave was like, what? He's like, oh, I don't get a lot of these calls. I said, yeah, I just saw you on a list that you had bought, and I just, no, it's random, just seeing. He said, all right, well, where is it at? I tell him the address. Dave says, oh, I'm actually flipping the house right next door to that one. Because it's a smaller town, right? I mean, there's a good amount of people, but it's a smaller town. He said, I'm actually flipping the house right next door to that. I know that very well. He said, I've been trying to get a hold of that owner, but I haven't been able to. And let me be honest, it wasn't like right next door, but it was like 2 houses down. But he couldn't get a hold of the owner. But this guy filled out a sheet, came into us. I called him, and he said, all right, well, what do you want for it? I didn't even have the property under contract yet, but sometimes in this business, you got to trust people and just trust the process. And I said, well, I'm looking at, I knew the homeowner told me he wanted one, like 75 for it. And so or 180, I think it was the number I gave you guys. We'll stick in there. And I go, well, the homeowner is looking to get, 185. I'm not sure, I haven't looked at it. And he goes, the one I'm buying next door is like, I got it for like 175. Do you think you can get it for that? And I said, all right, well, yeah, I'm pretty sure I can. When can you go over there and look at the property? And he goes, I can go in about 2 days. So boom, he wants it for 175. We're at 180 with the homeowner. I want to make some money. I told the homeowner, hey, I got my guy coming by. He does, we do a lot of work in the area, doing a lot of flips actually on your street. I'm going to send him over there, but I want to do a contract with you for this one for 165. We can wrap it up with the bow on it. It'll be done. We'll close in, pretty quickly. Homeowner was fine because he didn't even live there. So I got it for 165. I had someone who buys houses on the same street go over there and get it for 175 where he wanted to be. I made 10 grand. Everybody was happy, and we closed it up fairly quickly. And it was that buyer's first time dealing with the wholesaler, but he loved it. It went great for him. We turned it into the title company he used because he lives in the area. He could point me in the right direction. So he felt secure. The buyer went over there and met him. The buyer and the seller felt secure with each other, and we got the deal done. So that's just a little story on how it can work and how it's happened a couple of times for myself. So hopefully that story wasn't too long-winded, but that is a true story. That did happen. I don't know where that city was. So hopefully that gives you an idea of how things can work. And then the good thing is once you have a buyer like that and you've done this deal, you don't think if I wanted to, I could look for deals in that area again and I can call the same guy. Now he knows I'm comfortable. We have a title company that we're all familiar with. He knows I'm not trying to screw him. I know he's not trying to screw me. Now we can do as much business as we want, as much business as his pockets allow. And that's how the game goes. All right, that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Hopefully that answered your guys' questions about buyers and sellers. If it did, let me know. If it didn't, also let me know, and I'll get some more information out there for you guys. But I think that probably answered some of you guys' question. Let me see what this says. Juice from Florida. I thinking about starting up soon. I'm working a 9 to 5. Is there a way around doing all with a 9 to 5? Yeah, there's a way. You're just calling people and seeing if they want to sell their home, right? So you can do that on your lunch break. You can do that when you get off of work. If you have a 9 to 5 and it pays decent, you can have a employee call them during the day to see if they're interested, so that when you come home from work, You can talk to the people that were interested and see about working a deal out with them. Sorry, I couldn't fit everything on my message. Oh, no, you're good, brother. Ask away. That's what I'm here for. But hopefully that answers your question on how you can work this with a 9 to 5. Let's see. That answered it, but also sounds super tedious. Do you find most buyers before making an offer? So when you're doing virtual, it you don't, because you don't know where the deal is going to come from, especially when you're running marketing in nationwide. So no, you don't know where it's going to come from. But to make 10 grand in 20 days, I don't know when that one closed, but it closed fairly quickly because it's a small town, not a lot going on. So to make 10 grand in 2 weeks, yeah, it's going to be a little tedious. People aren't giving away money out here. This business isn't about being easy. It's about oh, I'm sorry. I'm reading it wrong. You're right. I'm very lucky to find that buyer. Still answered my question. Well, to answer that, you're right. Serendipitous. Um, Look, I think luck meets preparation, right? I knew how to find people, and I found this guy. But that's the name of the business, right? And again, you can have so many tech pieces of technology find you buyers. There's so many things out there with AI that will go through lists, pull people who are buying, and then you just got to call them. And that's how you find buyers until you build out a list, and then you can decide if you want to stay in that market or not. So it's going to be some things that just fall in your lap. Do I usually call one buyer and they're the one buyer and it goes that way? It's happened a couple times. But also, too, you got to realize that's part of the business, right? Let's put it this way. Um, I don't want to use a bad analogy, but like, for instance, everything like cereals, right? Not every cereal is at HEB, is at Target, is at Walmart, is at Kroger, right? And then when they are, buyers pay different prices. So also you want to make sure that you have a buyer pool. You're good at finding buyers, because what if you have one buyer who he's like, dude, anything you bring me, I'm going to pay you 20 grand for. So you've got that guy, right? And then you may have another guy who nickels and dimes you, and you have another guy who's pretty in the middle of the road, right? And they don't all buy the same type of things, or maybe they will. So you also want to start to build out a list, and learn how to find them and build out a list, because you want a little bit of that competition so that you can also make sure that you're earning the most on the back end for every deal, right? What happens if you don't sell the house within the days you agreed on with the seller, the contract? You just communicate with them, hey, I'm not going to be able to do this deal. Things fell through on our end, and you have to just walk away from it. You got to be honest and communicate with people. You do not want to get a bad rap for, just ghosting people in this business. This isn't like dating, guys, okay? I'm joking. That's the old man in me coming out. This isn't like dating, kids. You want to communicate in this business and tell people, because you never know who you come across again. What up, Braden? Oh my gosh, we've been on here for a minute, guys. We have been answering all the questions that are in here. All right, if you're in here and I can give you some free leads, or you want some free leads, you've got to follow me on here and Instagram, and I'll give you a set of some free leads. I'm probably going to take a little break here in a minute and hop off so that I can do a few things. I'm going to answer some more emails. B, I'm going to meet with the team so I can get them some goals. I got to set some goals for this week on what we want to focus on, what we want to do. And then Brandon said, let me get some more leads. Is that my boy Brandon in here? If that is so, Brandon, if it's Brandon, who I think, he just closed out his $14,000 deal the other day. Congrats to him. Buyers. Josh says buyers, question mark. All right, what can I answer for you on buyers, brother? I think we just went through a whole big thing of it. You might have just came in on the tail end of that. I'll have to take some leads. I have an account. All right, buddy. DM me if you already have an account. DM me if you're in this chat. We'll hook your account up. Josh, what do you want to know about buyers? We can go through how to find them, how to get a hold of them, and what to do. Awesome, brother. Not a problem, man. I'm gonna stay on here for another minute so we can make sure that we answer your question. Then I have been jamming the same album. Let me switch it up to the radio on my end. And I'm going to make sure that we get Josh's questions answered. Josh, you got deals. I got buyers everywhere. See, look at that. You come in here, you communicate, you network with people. I'm currently using virtual flip leads. All right, well, we got to get you on Newly, first of all, because Brandon just closed 14K the other day. So he's going to tell you about the leads. But leads are leads, right? All leads work if you work them. So what can we help you with? I can tell you how I find buyers, but I'm not a buyer company, right? But we give away free games, so you tell me what you need, brother. When you say leads, are you referring to houses you found on Zillow? No, so when we say, so I tell people PropStream and Deal Machine and those kind of websites, they sell you data. We sell you leads. Leads are, hey, Josh, do you want to sell your home? Yes, you do. You're interested in selling it. All right, can I have someone on my team call you to make us to speak with you about it? Yes. Boom. That's a lead. Data is just a bunch of information you have to call to get a lead. Then when you get a lead, you got to work a lead. So we sell leads. I have two $25 million deals and $11.8 million deal looking for buyer. Hey, you know what? We just closed out a $2 million apartment complex. So shoot me a DM and let's see, because actually we just closed last week on a $2 million apartment complex. They got closed out, and then that buyer called us back right after that closed out and said, "Hey, we need more. Like, do you have anything else?" So, depending on what it is, Josh, we might have a buyer for you if you want to talk. So hit me on the DMs, and we'll see if we can't come together on that. Josh, send them to my Insta, Brandon Bowl. Let's talk. I'm selling leads as profitable. Is selling leads as profitable as wholesaling? I guess it can be. Nelson, where do you make the action figure? My wife did that on an app, and then she had it printed. So I have to ask her. I do not recall, brother. My bad. Cool. I'll shoot a DM. Yeah, shoot us a DM, Josh. We'd love to be involved in another one of those, man. Those are always healthy and make everybody happy. There has to be better free way to find buyers than Facebook groups. Facebook groups, I went through this earlier. So buyers, Facebook group, Discord groups, school groups, and networking and going to networking events and things like that. So that's where you can find buyers at. Yeah, Discord is an amazing thing. Google like wholesale Discord group, and you'll probably find a couple of them. There has to be a better way to find free buyers in Facebook groups. So we answered that one. Oh, just went over Discord. That's so fire. Ask her how much she'd charge. Laugh out loud. All right, I don't know if it was on an app or something like that. I will ask. Shoot me a DM, Brandon, and I'll get back to you with that info. REI Rev, there you go. Hey, REI Rev has got your people in there. That's a Discord group right there. So you join that thing, there's tons of people moving and shaking in there. It's a JV good method to start with actual wholesale, especially as a 15-year-old? JV method at 15 years old, probably the only way you'll get started. So yeah, it's a great method, dude. Again, this isn't an individual sport, guys. This is a team sport. Michael Jordan's the best on the team, but he's still got to have, other guys around him, and he's got to have a coach, and he's got to have an organization. I compare it to car dealerships, right? If you sell one or two cars, that's great, but if you want to grow, you're going to have to put a team around you. So this is selling houses. You can't do it on your own. There you go. Bird Dog, Find deals. There's plenty of ways to make money under 18. Plenty of ways to make money if you're under 18 for sure. One of our guys that I was mentioning earlier who was 18 that closed his first deal was like 1.2 1.4 million. He ended up making a 50K assignment off of it. He did that right at 18. It's just about putting in the work. I would imagine at 18 it's a bit harder. I remember being an 18-year-old young man and thinking, how can I get money today? So you're gonna have to train yourself, and you're gonna have to be committed, and not just think about money today. Uh, then if you have that mind state, it'll work. Also, another mind state that you have to be successful in this business is keeping the seller in mind. How can I help the seller? That's what we're doing in this business. You make money as a result of helping the seller, not as a result of how much I can assign it for and how much am I going to make and how much am I going to buy whenever I close this deal. Appreciate it, Josh. I will take a look at that DM as soon as I get off of here, and I'll connect with my boys who has the buyers for multis and everything like that. Is it a multifamily or is it just like a giant single, or is it a commercial? But either way, I'll connect you, and we'll see if we can make something happen. But yeah, guys, you have to look at this as how can I best help the seller? If you're not looking at this on how you can best help a seller out, you're approaching the business wrong. Um, it can't just be about you and how much money you're going to make. And then once you have that mind state of how can I help the seller, and you're putting them first, then you can solve that problem. And as a result of solving that problem, you start to earn a good living. So I hope all of those things help. You buy new construction, so I don't. I'm not necessarily buying right now, but no, I don't buy new construction. Who I think who buys new construction is, I think, just mainly homeowners, I would assume. I don't think any hedge funds or anybody else is really buying new construction that I know of. Not to say that it doesn't happen, Danny, but yeah, not that I know of, brother. One's a hotel. Oh man, we just got a dude looking for stuff like that. One's a hotel, one's a portfolio, and one's multifamily. All right, yeah, shoot me your information, dude. Definitely, let's get on the phone and see if we can't do this. We actually just met another big commercial buyer the other day who's looking for things like hotels. So hopefully they're in some decent towns, and we'll try and make it work. We got a couple different people in mind. What about What about an Airbnb house, new construction after? I'm not an Airbnb guy. Um, the Airbnbs are tricky in my mind. I think there's people who focus on it and make a great living. They would be who you would want to talk to. I'm not an Airbnb person, personally. So I'll just kind of like stop it there because I'm not gonna act like I know about it. I'm not gonna act like I'm doing it. I'm not gonna act like I understand if it's the best or not. But not a me thing. You would have to go to another channel to look at Airbnb if I'm just being honest with you. And the reason that I feel that way is because the market dictates a lot about Airbnb, right? If you have an Airbnb and HOA says no more Airbnb, then you have a rental property. You know what I mean? And if you are not profitable like you need to be to pay that bill and do all the stuff, then you're just kind of stuck. Imagine doing cold call on cam. We went live so we just closed out 300K, 270 in assignments over the last 90 days. My TikTok was banned for some reason for that good amount of that time, but we did a lot of it on Instagram live. So we did a lot of cold calling, or just calling leads on cam, and we closed out a lot of these deals on cam. And yeah, so we just did that. All cap. What is cap? What is that? What are we capping about? I'm lost. Are we capping about the 300 the 270K or what? Good job, brother. Let's connect soon. Yes, sir. Let's do it. Let's do it. I definitely want to do it, man. I want everybody to come up and win. And I don't want to be capping anybody. I don't know what the cap is about. Just a hater. Hey, man. Hey, guess what? I live in the reality of I wake up when I want to wake up. I hang out with my kids every day. I hang out with my wife every day. We're not hurting. We're in a good position, and that's the world. That's my real life, right? I'm on here to give back, so I never could let a hater get to me because guess what, man? I understand probably where that person's mindset is, and I hope that they come out of that. And the only way to do that is through a lot of hard work and determination. So hopefully that person gets there. Never talk bad about a hater, guys. Let them talk bad about you, and then go on about your day. Enjoy your real life. Be successful, and don't feed into that energy because HUDs don't lie. All right, how much you pay for them leads? Well, hold on, buddy. You went from capping to how much you pay for them leads. Well, I run the lead company, so that's what I do. And we charge $99 a month, and you get 25 motivated leads. And Brandon was in here earlier, and he just closed out a $14,000 deal. I think it closed Friday, or yeah, I think it closed Friday for him. So I'm getting to the point where Treston is in here. Treston just joined. Treston, if he's really in here, Treston is a user on Newly, and he can tell you how many deals he's closed out. And this is not a paid sponsorship. So, Addy Hub, here we go. The sales pitch. I don't have a sales pitch, buddy. If you want leads, they cost me money, so they cost you money. I don't have anything else to sell outside of that. I don't do courses. I don't do coaching. I put leads in front of people who want to do deals, and then they do deals. And people pop into the live who are doing deals. People pop in who are not. If Tristan's in here, he'll tell you how much he's closed with Newly. Hey, man. I've never had leads. That would be awesome. We'd love to connect with you, Josh. Would love to get you some leads, my man, and see if we can't make some deals happen for you, brother. Oh, you're good, brother. I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I know what you mean, brother. So you're all good. Let's see. Also, this is just because I know we had a hater in here earlier. I don't know if it'll ban me, but that's what hit his account, and that's what he showed me. I think that is there. And then, just so we know, that's the part one of the HUD, and I think hold on, that's part one of the HUD. That's part two of the HUD. It's the same. Let's see. Yeah, there it is. He had two different HUDs to break up the deal because they had to do the purchase in two different closings. So yeah, guys, I'm not here to lie to you. I'm not here to make up stuff. I'm not here to whatever. I'm here to give you my time, some free game, and hopefully it changes your life. Um, that's what I'm here for. Let's close one of those $1 million deals, and I'll buy plenty of leads. Hey, let's do it, brother. Like I said, we just closed out that one. So the one I just showed you was a $1 million plus deal. Actually, I'm looking at it now. 1.2 million. So that was a $1.2 million deal that just closed. 1.25. And so yeah, we've got the buyers for sure. So we'll connect you. I think you said you sent me a. I'll go on TikTok now and look real quick. Sounds good. Thanks. All right. I'm sorry. I'm looking at emails too, guys. I do have a company to run too. Um, all right, Josh. I got you here. I got your information. I see you sent me everything, and I will definitely connect with you, man. See if we can't do something. I got to see where these are. Where these I'm Hill. Market. I have a multi Baytown for 20. It's $219 a cap focus center, and another about the good. Yeah. All right, yeah, dude. I'll definitely get these out to my people and see what we can make happen, man. I would love to be able to find you a buyer on some of this. And I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything in here. Can provide a PO. All right, guys. Hey, look, I know you guys have been kicking it with me. Josh, I got your information. I do appreciate it. And I will get this over to my people to see if we can do anything on it. I'm going to go ahead and hop off, guys. It was really awesome kicking it with you today. If you can, follow me on here. Follow me on Instagram. And we can stay connected. Here is my Instagram. And so I appreciate you guys kicking it with me today. I'll probably be back on later tonight. If I'm not on tonight, I'll be back on tomorrow. But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and let's see if we can make something happen. Signing off. Thank you, everybody, for kicking it with me.